Hello guys, welcome to the very first part of our course, and just like in the introduction, you're going to be learning how to build an online learning mobile application. All right, so full credit goes to the UiUx designer who made this available for free on Figma community. All right, and so we are going to be using this resource material here to create an online learning mobile application in FlutterFlow without writing a single line of code. Okay, so it has a few number of screens, so we should be able to get this done really quick. And of course, this is going to be like different parts. So this is going to be like part one, then we will have all different parts too. Okay, so let's get right into it. It's a very unique and simple design, so I don't think we should have any issue trying to navigate around it. All right, so there are two designs here. We have the dark theme and we have the the light theme. So we're going to be using the light theme, and you can find the link to this Figma design on your very first welcome message, all right, here on Udemy. All right, so let's get right into it. We're going to start first with designing this particular screen, which is the Hotman. All right, so with that, you're going to learn front-end development within FlutterFlow. So in all the parts, we're going to have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are 10 screens. So we're going to have like 10 front-end tutorials, like front-end tutorials for this particular course. All right, yeah, so then after that we can start the back end. So front-end first, then back-end later. All right, so let's jump right into it. Now when it comes to designing replicating UI UX designs inside FlutterFlow, you need to first of all go ahead and you need to just go ahead and then click on the top of the main screen. Let's say you want to work on this, so you just tap on this, and when you tap on it, you'll be able to see some things on the right hand side here. All right, so it will show you the width of the screen and then the height as well. All right, because that's going to allow you to have an idea of the exact dimension of the screen. Okay, so let's go into FlutterFlow. If you don't have an account, just click start for free and register straight up. All right, I have an account, lucky me. Okay, so we're going to just wait for a couple of seconds, and then we're going to have FlutterFlow coming on board. Then we will just begin building our application. All right, so that's loading. Okay, so meanwhile, I think let me just come back here and talk about a few things before we continue. All right, so when using Figma, all right, there's a new feature which is called the developer mode. So you have to also always ensure that you turn this on. Well, there'll be times where I'll need to turn this off and I will tell you, but until then, I won't tell you. Okay, so let's go ahead and then come into FlutterFlow. And then here, I'm just going to go ahead and click on create new, and I'll give this project a name. So the project is going to be called online learning app. Yes, you guessed right. Okay, so create blank, and then we can begin our project. So now one of the first steps is actually for you to connect your project to Firebase. So here you see set up Firebase, and you don't necessarily need to change the project name because you just already did that. And you can go ahead and set up Firebase now, or you skip. So Firebase is where you get to store all the different files that will be used by your application, right? So when your user creates an account, it gets stored there, all right? Like the whole ID and the email, not the password. The passwords are always encrypted, okay? So, and then let's say the user uploads a photo of themselves. Okay, so you have all of those files stored in Firebase. And Firebase also helps you in facilitating some security for your mobile application, okay? So at this point, since we are only going to be focusing on just the front end, so we can go ahead and just skip this step. All right, good. Now we need to go ahead and set up our screen. This is the interface for FlutterFlow dashboard for your project. All right, so we will just go ahead and be learning different things about this dashboard by doing things. Okay, so I won't just go ahead and start saying this is this, this is that. Well, we're going to have to just understand how to do it by using the dashboard. Okay, so this is your screen, your main screen, and you can have multiple screens on your project. So this is the place called widget tree where you get to see all the different pages. Okay, so right now we have just one page and it's called home page, and you can actually get to rename this page by coming here, clicking on the page itself and clicking the scaffold. Scaffold is like the very first foundation for each of your screen. Like every single screen or a page. A screen is also called a page. Every single screen has a scaffold, which is what all the different parts of the page is built on top of. All right, so just imagine it as a foundation. Okay, foundation for building. So, and then of course you can build anything on top of nothing, so that means there has to be a foundation. And according to how FlutterFlow is designed, you can delete anything else that is on top of the foundation, but not the foundation itself. So if I try to like right click on this and say delete, it will tell me cannot delete from canvas, but I can delete the column, I can delete the app bar, which I'm going to do now. So now I'm going to delete this app bar. What you see here, I'll take it out because I don't need it. Just click delete on your keyboard and it's gone. Okay, so now the next thing that I need to do quickly is I'm going to go ahead and then start building. So I think I'll just take off this just so that we can start everything from scratch. So this is just the foundation, right? So I've deleted that, and then let's go ahead and come back to FlutterFlow and see what this is called. It's called Hotmain. I like to still keep the names of the screens just like the way it was kept by the designer. All right, so let's come over here and then do that immediately. So I'll come over here to the home page. I've clicked on the scaffold, so I can now come over here on the right hand side and click here and then rename it to, I like to use small letters, so Hotmain. Okay, Hotmain, not Hotman. All right, so now we have this. You can click on this to save it, or just click somewhere else and it saves. So this is Hotmain now, and we need to begin building this. All right, so you see this particular part, you don't have to be worried about that because FlutterFlow will keep space for it, because of course when you're running a mobile application, right, you're going to have these particular different icons on your phone itself. So that's why they've already kept space for that. You don't have to design it. You just have to design anything from here below. All right, most designers don't even put this side. Okay, so let's go ahead and then look at how this works. Now this is a screen, all right, and we have different components, right? This is a component here, like these are images, is a text, another text, and I think there is some sort of border around this. Yes, some sort of border around this. Enter your name or email, password, login, sign up, right, all of that. So what we want to first of all recognize is that all of these things is inside a column. A column is a widget, all right? Column is a widget that allows you to put things from top to bottom, allows you to stack things or arrange things from top to bottom, while a row is a widget that allows you to put things from left to right. So when you want to, when you see a scenario like this where you need to put things from top to bottom, the very first widget you need to put is called a column. All right, so we are going to come back here to FlutterFlow, and in our scaffold, we will click on this icon that says add a child to this widget. So we'll click on it, and then we will say column. Now we have a column inside. The next thing we need to do is go back to Figma and then begin getting components inside FlutterFlow. Now this is it. We have these beautiful logo here. What we can do now is we can just go ahead and look at the, let me just pull this apart, maybe just hide it. Now you can go ahead and look at the right hand side of the screen, so you will see the different properties here. All right, so here is the logo. We can click on export because we want to export it and take it to FlutterFlow, right? So the next thing that we're going to do right now is we will go ahead and pick this, maybe make it like 3x or 2x. Don't make it too big because it also contributes to the overall size of your application. So then I'll click on preview and then I'll look at it. This is the preview of the logo itself, all right, with all the blur and everything. So I'll go ahead and say export logo. Now it exports the logo. Now this logo is an image, and we can use an image widget inside FlutterFlow to bring this into FlutterFlow. Okay, so I'll go ahead and come back to FlutterFlow. Before I go to FlutterFlow, I have to check out the size of this image. So if you hover on it with your dev mode turned on, right, you will see the dimension. It says here 75 pixel by 74.999998. but I like to use the approximate value, which is 75 pixel by 75 pixel. So here we will just say, I'll click on this column now. And okay, before I continue, now you observe this particular image is also on the same horizontal line with the text here that says fire course. And that simply means for you to be able to do that, you need to put it inside a row, because a row allows you to arrange things from left to right. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and then come to the FlutterFlow and then add a row first. And in the row, we're going to go ahead and add an image, and the image has a property. So the property here is going to be the width and the height. So we'll make it 75, and we will make this one as well 75. That's it. So like this, now we have the approximate dimension for the image that we want to bring in. Let's go ahead and remove the border radius. Border radius is what makes the edges of the image to be curved. Okay, so we don't need it because it wasn't there. Now the next thing we need to do is, let's go ahead and bring in the logo that we downloaded from, that we exported from FlutterFlow, exported from Figma into FlutterFlow. So I'll go ahead and click on these. So it says here image type, so I'll click on it and say asset. So with asset, I can go ahead and upload the image from my system. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, this is the image, so I'll just click on it and I'll go ahead and then open it. All right, so with that, I have the file inside FlutterFlow, right? So it's loading, it's going to be available soon. Okay, so now that's taking a little bit more time than usual. Okay, so I think it's gonna come up soon. Okay, all right, so while we're waiting for that to come up, the next thing that we need to do quickly is also to bring in the text that is here. So I'll go ahead and click this to copy the text. All right, this text, okay, this is actually not a text. I thought this was a text. Well, it's actually a text, but I'm not allowed to copy it for some reason. Yeah, for some reason I can't highlight on this text, but not to worry. What you can do is actually, when you click on the component here on Figma, just go on the right hand side and you will see the content. All right, so this is it. So I can just click here to copy it. So it says copy to clipboard. I will now go ahead and look at the dimension of this text. So you see here, the font weight is 400, the font size is 36 pixel. So I'll come back over here. Okay, so this is still taking some time. All right, so this is up. Now I will go ahead and then bring this up into FlutterFlow. So I'll go ahead and click here. And then the next thing I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to click on the row, which is this one now. I'm going to click on add a child to the row, which is going to be the text. All right. And then I will paste the text that I copied, remember? And then I will go ahead and look at the dimension again. So here we have 400 by 36. So I'll come back here to FlutterFlow and scroll down. I will see the property of the text. So it's going to be 400 by 20. What did I see there? Okay, so we're going to have these as 36. So this is going to be 36. And then the next thing I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. Let's look at it. So we have a color here, right? So this is a color. We'll go ahead and just click on the gradient here. We'll just copy it. And then we will come over to FlutterFlow again. And FlutterFlow doesn't really allow you to create like way too many things, but you can actually go ahead and turn on the gradient scenario here. So you have linear and you have the direction too. So I can actually go ahead and paste this. So it has two colors. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight the remaining one here. So I pasted it, I'll just cut it. All right, so this is going to be the first color. And then I'm going to click to add the second color here. You see? So like that, we have our design. Okay, so now it gives us this particular scenario. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try to center align these two components here. Like we try to put it at the center. Now there's a space between the text and the logo. So we'll come over here and give it a padding of 9. Okay, because it was 9 there. So if you hover here, you see on the left hand side is 9. Now we have that. Next thing we need to do quickly is we need to go ahead and copy this one. So this is a text as well. So I'll click on it and copy it from here. And then I'll come back to FlutterFlow. Let's click this first to center align it. So I click here, then I center align it. I'll click on the main column itself because I want to add another row under this first one. So I'll click on the column and add a row. In the row, I'm going to add a text. Okay. So I'm going to add a text. The text is going to be what I'm pasting here. Now, here what I'm going to have is 400 by 16. Okay. So with these now, I will go ahead and then change the font size here to 16. And I also need to come back here and copy the color code of the text. So well, it says here 25. So I think this is just going to be a black color, but the opacity is 25%. So I'll click on these and then reduce these, just keep reducing it until I see this place turn to 25. Okay, so something around that. So I can say use color. So now I have this. Okay, so with these I can go ahead and then center align it, click on the row, center align it, and there you go, we have a center aligned scenario. So I can go ahead and hover on this. It says 43, so the padding for this particular text is 43 above. So I'll click here and say 43. Don't forget, I'm already selecting the row that contains the text, not the text itself. Okay, then the next thing I need to do quickly is, it says you enter your name or email. So this is a text field. So it says enter your name or email. Then this is the password field, says enters password. So I'll go ahead and come here, click on the column itself because I want to put those two things here. I'll search for something called text field. All right. So I'll search for text field, then I'll click on it. Now I have a text field. I will scroll down. All right. And then turn the input border type to outline. That means I want to have an outline around my text field. Okay, more like a line, a border. All right, and then here, if you can see here, it has a border of 20 radius, 20 pixels. Okay, so I'll give it a padding of 57 on both sides. So now I'm going to come back here and say, scroll up and say 57, 57, and then come over here and say 57. Okay, then scroll down and say border radius is 20. Beautiful. Now we have this. Now it says you enter your name or your email. So I'll click on it and then copy what we have here. So it says 400 by 12 here. Always observe. So I'll scroll up. I will see where it has the label text. Control A, Control V to paste what I copied, and it's 400 by 12. There you go. So then the next thing that I'll do is change the color of the text. Okay, so I'll copy it there. And then I'll come over here and paste it. Okay, so like this, and that's it. Okay, so now that we have that, the next thing that we need to do quickly is, let me see. All right, so we have this, enter this. What we can actually do again is, let me see. We can have, okay, we don't have that here. Border width. Okay, so let's change the border width to 0.5. Okay. Yeah, just 0.5, just almost negligible, right? Because it was almost negligible here. If you don't look at it very well, you won't see it. All right, so we have that. The next thing we need to do is click on the text field itself and then look at the, so I'm going to click it here and hover on top. I will see that it has 44 pixels above, like the padding above is 44. So I'll say 44. Then now that it's selected, I'll say Control D to duplicate it. Okay, so now I'm going to use this for the password field. So I'll click on here and just maybe just copy the content. Then here I have, let me click on this now and look at the distance apart. So it says 16. So I'll come back here and reduce the padding on the top here to 16 for the password field. And I'll scroll down to where we have the label text, Control A and Control V to paste password. And that's it. So now the next thing I need to do quickly is I'll go ahead and create the buttons. So we have a button here. All right, we have a button here and then we have a button here. Now let's go ahead and see which of the widgets that is going to allow us to have this kind of gradient. All right, so let's try to bring in a button widget. So I'll click on the column itself and then click on add a child to the column and say button. Before I even continue building, I will scroll down so that you can see if at all we can have something that will allow us to have a gradient. So now here on FlutterFlow, you can't really add a gradient to a button. Like so, if you can see it here, we can't really add a gradient to a button. There is no place that says gradient. Okay, we could add a gradient to the text, but we can add it to the button. All right, so these are the only properties that we have. So button in this case will not be the best thing to use if at all we want to have almost a replica of this. So what are we going to use instead? We're going to use a container. So first of all, hover on it and look at the dimension. The height here of this button is 57. The width is 325. The spacing on the, forget about the width, just focus on the padding on the left and on the right. Well, we have to make it uniform, so let's just stick to 20. All right, 20 pixels on the left, 20 pixels on the right. So now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and then come back to FlutterFlow, and the column is already clicked, so we'll click this and add a container. A container will be able to give us the gradient feature. So we'll go ahead and highlight this, the height of 57, and the width is going to be maximum. We're going to have a padding of 20 on the right and a padding of 20 on the left. And here we're going to have a border radius of 40 pixels. So I'll come over here and say 40 pixels. Beautiful. And then I will go ahead and then just add something else. So here we will add a row inside the column, inside the container. All right, so that we can put our text. All right, so but for now, let's just stick to producing this. So this is the gradient. I'll click to copy it just like we did before, and then I'll scroll down here, and the container has a gradient feature. So I can now go ahead and paste this here. Don't forget that there are like two things. So I'll highlight the second one and Control X to cut it out. Okay, so I'm using a Windows. Okay, so I'll go ahead and paste this here and say Enter. So now I have this gradient kind of. All right, so you can actually play around with these things and see what you can get out of it. So it has some features here: align times, gap, a lot of things. So you can actually try to see how you can play around it just to get things right. For now, I won't really go so far into adjusting that. So we will go ahead and add a row inside the container so that we can do what? Add a text. Okay, now the text is going to say login, right? Yes, so we click on this and just copy it. I like to prefer to just copy things. So just scroll up and copy, sorry, paste. And then here I'll go ahead and click on this to change the text to white. Click on the row and center align it, and then click on this. Now the text itself is 400 by 18. So I'll come over here and change this to 18 just to make it a little bit bigger. All right, beautiful. Now we have this. So we can look at the padding from the top for the button. So I'm clicking on the button and hovering, and I'll see that the padding on the top is 39. Okay, so I'll put here 39. All right, and so we have 39. No, not on the text, but I have to select the container. Okay, so I will say 39. Now with these, I can go ahead and say Control D to duplicate the what I had done so that I can use it for this one. And then let me just go ahead and copy this, sign in with Google, and paste it here in this one. All right, so we'll just paste this first. There you go. And then now we have this. So click on this and copy the linear gradient scenario, and just scroll down and come over to the container itself. Click on the container. You have to see that in the widget tree, and then scroll down to where we have the gradient and paste this first color, highlight the second color, and cut it out. And then okay, so how many colors do we have there? Wait a minute. Okay, so I think let me just come over here and just paste everything again and see. No, not that. Let me come back here and just copy the linear gradient, come over here and just paste it. Let's see. I want to learn something. Okay, so here I want to kill it. Okay, all right, so I think that's not going to work out as I imagined. So I'll just paste this, and what I would like to do is just keep going forward, and then highlight this. This happens to be like two different colors. Aha, okay, so let's paste this one here. Let me see. It's not giving me what I need. Let's see what we can do out of this. So it has 3 colors. This one had two colors, but this one, it actually has 3 colors. So we will hover on it and look at what we can get out of this. So it has let me turn off the dev mode because I want to be able to see okay, that's not even still gonna show me what I need to see. Okay, all right, let me turn it back on, and I will see what I can get from here. So we have one color here, we have one color here. All right, so I'm copying this, what we have here. Okay, so I'm just copying this here, Control C, and then I'm gonna paste it here. Let's go. So that gives me the first one. Let's come back here and go in again. That's yellow again. So almost the same yellow, but let's just copy this. Okay, Control C, and then I will go ahead and paste this here. There you go. So now we have something like this. Okay, so then we need to do this particular one for the text and then sign up here. So let me just go ahead and come back to FlutterFlow and click on this. Actually click on the row, Control C, click the column and Control V to paste it. We are just reusing what we had done before. So I'll go ahead and just click on this and copy it. It says 400 by 12. The padding from here is 35. Well, I like to memorize a lot of things before I go on. So here I'll change it to 35 for the padding on the top, and then here it's going to be 12. Okay, and the main content itself, I'm going to just paste this. Then I will click on this and say Control D to duplicate. Then here I'm just going to copy the sign up, look at the padding from the top, 51 pixels, and I come back to FlutterFlow, click on this and change this to 51. All right, 51, click on this and paste what I had copied. Now, so far we have been able to create or replicate what we have in this place. So what I need to do now is click on maybe this image and look at the padding from the top, padding from here. So 101. So I will come over here and click on this and give it 101 padding from the top, just to bring things to almost the same position as what we have in design. So if we go ahead and click on this to preview the application, we will see that we have done something remarkable, something really, really remarkable and amazing. So I'm just going to preview the application, and what I did was to click on this to actually preview the application. So what we have done is unique and remarkable. I just wanted us to see how it looks like in the preview mode. Okay, so let's just wait a couple of seconds for this to load up, and then we can see it. Okay, so there you go. This is how it looks like in the preview mode. It will have this beautiful, design. This is it. Okay, so that's it. We have been able to create something really unique and amazing. So we'll get to see in the second part of the course. Take care.